So as we are saying, if you look at the TCP indeed, so the TCP/IP can be also referred as a protocol that governs all the network that we're also using today. So why do we say that this TCP/IP can refer as a governor who has governed all the protocol that we are using on a network today? It's because they are the one that we'll see at the top. So that's why here says that the internet protocol, and it is a suite of communication. Suite simply means there is other things that are also under this TCP/IP that we cannot also see. So remember that we said that this TCP/IP stand for transmission control protocol, whereby IP stand for internet protocol, and it is a suite of communication protocol used to interconnect network devices in a private network, not even on a private network, also in internet too. So this is what the TCP/IP does. Now let's try to break the TCP/IP into two. Now let's talk about what the TCP/IP is, and also let's talk about the work of IP address. So when it comes to TCP/IP, we say that TCP manage how a message is assembled in a smaller packet before they are then transmitted over the internet and reassembled in the right order at the destination address. So what it simply means here is that as we have a computing device, whether it is laptop, whether it is a phone, no matter what computing device that we also using, now TCP is the one that is in charge of the message, the mail, or with the message we type that we send to someone, no matter what the packet is and resources is. That TCP is the one that makes sure that those messages, all of them, leaves our computing device. So that's why it said that it's also a reassemble it in a smaller packet, so that all of them will be able to go to through internet right to the down to the right destination. So when it gets to the right destination, now TCP is the one that's also in charge to reassemble it in a readable order. But remember that at this point, the computing device do not understand these words. These words that we also read in here, what computing device understands is 0 and 1. So as soon as this message is leaving our computing device, let's assume you type a mail, then you send that mail. So that mail is not going directly the way it is when you also type it. So it will also convert it in a way that all of them will be leave the computing device down to the right destination. So as soon as you also convert it and also compress to be in a smaller packet, when you get to the right destination, so TCP will be the one to arrange it back again to be in a readable form, so that host which you send that data to can be able to read it in a way that it was when it was originally sent. Now let's take an example to also break down this TCP. Let's assume that you have a house where you are living before, then you'll be able to get a new apartment. So as soon as you get a new apartment, that new apartment you got, there is an address of that new apartment. So that address is the right destination where you will parking new. Now what will happen here is that as soon as you get let's assume that you get a vehicle. Now this vehicle now knows the right destination, because the person who owns the owner of the vehicle will charge you based on that destination where you are going. Now what will happen is that TCP, as this likened to TCP, is the owner of those loads. So what the owner will do, as soon as the vehicle comes, now they will try as much as they can to put the load inside that vehicle. It's not the same way it was when it is inside the house. It's not the same way they will arrange it inside the vehicle. So they will force it, they will press it in a way that is also half of the things will enter as much as the space that also will contain. Now that is exactly what TCP does when it comes to a message. It will also make sure that all the message also assemble in a smaller package, so that it will move down to the right destination. So likewise, that person who also going to relocating to a new place, when he get to the right destination, what we do is that it will offload it back again. So as soon as you offload it, it's not the same way it was inside that vehicle. It's not the same way that you also arrange it inside the house. So it will arrange it in a good way, so that it will be suitable for maybe a home. Now, what of IP? IP can be likened to the person who is also the vehicle driver, to who drive the vehicle, because he is the one that knows the right destination. So as soon as it charges you based on that destination in which you are going, meaning that's a nosy place. So that is how this TCP/IP works. So you see TCP/IP like a husband and wife that can never also go without each other. So two of them. That's why if you see TCP, you must see IP. So what TCP is in charge is making sure that all the data that you have in your computing device that you already set, all of them will get to the right destination. Now when you get there, it will reassemble it in a readable form, because when it was in a transit, it's not in a readable form. Human being cannot be able to read those things when it is on transit. Remember that I said the computing device understands the language, understand is 0 and 1. It does not understand all this alphabet that we also saying here. Now what of IP? I said that IP is the one that knows your right destination, because all the computing device that is on network will be given an IP address, unique IP address, that also determine the destination of each one. So that is the work of IP and also TCP. So this to say that today you hear DNS. So DNS, why we have DNS today is also differentiate each servers. If it is the TikTok server, as soon as you type TikTok on your maybe on your computing device, it will go with that IP address. So at the back of that word you type, the alphabet you type there, as soon as you're moving from your system, it's moving with an IP address. If it is Facebook you type, you want to also search, as soon as that Facebook is moving, it's moving with IP address. So it's not moving with that word you're in type maybe on that Chrome. So that is how these things work. So when it comes to IP address define the right destination in which a packet will be sent to. So that is what TCP IP is.